Edie, a 14-year-old girl, drives her junkie parents home as they keep arguing in the back seat. In the middle of the road, a cop pulls them over. She is afraid and stops despite her father telling her not to. However, as the police get out of the car, he tells her that her mother has a lot of cocaine on her, and seeing a little girl driving, they will surely pull them out of the car and her mother will go to jail. He convinces her to drive off, and although terribly afraid, Edie decides to abide. 14 years later, Edie, now a grown woman, has long been involved in the criminal world, is now retired. She is at a club with her friend as a man approaches her, but her friend shrugs him off. As they talk of her ex-boyfriend, John, the guy comes in his car, gives her his number, and drives away. Edie works at a bank, and the next morning, at her job, a few goons come in for a robbery. They put everyone on the floor and start bagging the cash. However, they're not very professional and make a lot of mistakes. Edie, with her prior experiences in the criminal world, decides to snatch away one of their guns, but instantly gets hit. She is at the hospital, and the doctor tells her that she is okay and the robbers have been captured as well. Additionally, to her shock, she gets to know that she is pregnant. She brings in the topic with her friend, who warns her not to reconnect with her ex because he is a criminal. However, Edie says that they were both criminals and acted together in a lot of scenarios. She doesn't take her friend's advice and decides to go and meet her ex. She doesn't find him anywhere, and only as he walks further to his room, he hears screams. He sees that John is being beaten by two men who constantly ask him about someone named Leo. She decides to quietly walk away, but on her way out, she halts and returns. She enters the room with boiling water, throws it at one of them, and John takes over the other guy. They run out, and John has no clothes on. They run to the next apartment, and John breaks in. He starts searching for things, saying it's her friend Sweetie's room. He finally finds something to wear, and soon a guy comes in with a gun, along with a woman. He says Sweetie doesn't live here anymore and asks them to get away. Soon, the culprits knock on the door, and John requests that he let them go. He asks for money, but they don't have it now, and he goes to open the door. However, gunfires are heard, the guy dies, and so does the woman. Edie takes the gun, covers John to go to the other room. They get in, and Edie keeps asking her what he has done. They don't have much time, and they get out of the window. Luckily, John finds the car keys of Sweetie in his pocket, and they get in. The enemies are there and attack them. But being the professional driver she is, Edie takes off. She swiftly tackles the other car, eventually stopping it completely, and they sprint away. Edie stops the car at an isolated place and puts John out. She says she will drive away if he doesn't tell her what he has done. John agrees to show her. He takes her to a place where he has apparently kidnapped Leo and put him in a box. Seeing the situation, Edie walks away, being sure the guy is dead, but John shows her that he is alive. She returns and says that he has to take him back, apologize, and get rid of all of these. John helplessly decides on that, and they drive him. Leo says that he is hungry, and Edie replies that food is on them as an apology. He further starts putting more demands, making John stop the car and threatening him. He decides to run away, but soon a passing car hits him and he dies. Edie asks John to drive off. They reach far, and Edie gets out of his car, but John keeps trying to stop her. Eventually, she gets a call from her mob boss, Nico. Both Edie and John have worked for him. He asks her to come over because he knows John is with her, and he needs to make things even with him. Edie has no other choice and gets in the car, hitting John. She takes him to Nico's place. Nico is chatting with his assistant, George. He is seeing Edie after 7 years and is very happy to see her, in contrast to seeing John. He reminds him every time he messes up their job. He tells her about what he has done recently. They were supposed to take a guy in from his house, but it was his birthday party, and as soon as the family surprised him, he shot his wife. The bodyguards shot his partner, but he ran away. Apparently, the partner who got shot made them a lot of money from gambling. So, in order to make amends for that, John has to pay $3 million within a week. He has a job for himself, and he needs a driver. But Edie has taken off from this job and refuses. Nico has no problem with that. However, warns her that it might cost the life of John. He says that a brand new car will be showcased at a gambling parlor, and she has to drive it off. Edie reminds him of his new driver, Herm, but he says that he needs it specifically from John. She still declines and leaves as John runs behind her. He keeps trying to convince her that the job is very easy because Nico has already set up most of the plans and that they should do it. She reminds him that they have broken up, and she is in college now, trying to start a new life. But John reminds her that she came to him 3 months ago and they are merely taking a break. However, Edie knows that, like every time, John will mess things up and get going. John screams at her that they are written in the stars. Edie reaches a corner and looks back at John, who is dejectedly sitting on the pavement. She decides to get back and accept the job. She needs a car for the assignment, remembers the guy from the club, and decides to buy his car. He doesn't want to sell, but soon his ex-wife comes onto the scene, and knowing that she's willing to pay a lot of money for that, and her ex-husband is behind on child support, she gets excited. Edie gets the car, and they drive on. John asks her if she has slept with that guy, but she hasn't, and rather gets angry that is what he is worried about at this point. They soon engage in a drama, and Edie turns up the music. He raises down the volume again, and she makes him hit his head in the window. Eventually, John asks if they're going to stay in a single hotel room and suggests that they should do so because it's economical. The two reach a pub where John makes a bet on the pool game, but the players don't take him seriously, and soon he gets into a fight, which is broken off by the chaperone. He is involved in the heist and asks John to apologize to the bar manager. He does so and sits together for a meeting. He introduces Cole, who is the head of security at the casino. They also give information about the car, and the plan is to destroy the original car and replace it with an identical one. They bring out the road maps and finalize the plan. Meanwhile, Chaperone asks Edie to be alone in the manager's room and talks to her about John. They both know that he is a problem. She sits back and says that they have known each other for 15 years and she can take care of it. Later, they get to work creating the identical car and also go on some test drives. The day of the heist gradually arrives. The car is placed at the casino. They reach there and find out that the other driver of Nico, Herm, is present there. He requests them to sit at the table. She wonders if he is there for the business, but he says he is there to celebrate his girlfriend's new car purchase. She doesn't trust it and reaches Chaperone to ask about it. He doesn't know anything, and they call Nico, but he isn't aware of it either and says he will look into it. Apparently, they have some history with Perm, who tried to kill Edie, but John saved her. The next morning, Edie decides to visit his father along with John. He has a new wife and is crippled. He has been out of the criminal world for a long time and has a kid. Edie is there, asks him if he can be their extra driver, but he apparently denies. He says that he has changed, but Edie replies not for her. Later, as she sits with John, she tells him how nobody has changed for her in her life. She has always had to fix things for them. John tries to excuse himself, but he knows she is right. He instead tells her the story of his last time in rehab. He had escaped from there after 5 days, only to meet her. He almost died escaping, and all he thought of was her, because she is his life. At night, they reach their room and start to make out. However, Edie stops in the middle and reveals to him that she is pregnant. John is stunned and surprised. He gets excited and hopes that they can finally start a family after this job is done and start to listen to the baby in her belly. The next morning, Edie doesn't find John in the room and sees him down at the casino. He has brought her a present and says that it is from his earned money, not stolen. It is a necklace. The time to execute the job arrives. The security brings out the money and puts it in the trunk of the car. The casino is on its regular rhythm. John gets up to do his job, use the car keys, but the guys from the pool game stop him. He presses the key and gets into a fight with the other guys. The police get to stop them while, in the meantime, the car engine starts. The cops point their guns at it, and the front gate is blocked. Edie decides to run the car in reverse. The whole car passes by between the people breaking tables. Shots are fired, but it only reflects on hitting a waiter. The others stop him. She knocks a cop and manages to shrug him off. She drives on, but has to stop just before a pregnant woman, while a cop gets the chance to shoot. But the window is bulletproof. She quickly sets off from the hallway. They pull down the shutter, but she is able to break it off at the last moment. She gets in the road, and 2 police cars block it, but Edie manages to get past them. She gets herself inside a garage and is blocked from the front. She reverses, and seeing another car is coming, she takes a clever turn, destroying the cars. She takes the highway, and 2 more cars are still behind. Chaperone watches it from a roof and instructs Perm, revealing their conspiracy all along. Perm destroys 1 police car and is on to the other, but Edie decides to slow down to protect the cop. She knocks the car aside and tries to take Perm away. They enter the racetrack, and Perm is at her tail all the time. As the chase goes on, John comes in for rescue. He knocks over Perm and takes control. He has a gun and tries to shoot him, but the gun falls down. John tries to get a hold of the gun, and he misses a block in front, making his car trip and turn over. Edie is shattered. She stops the car and rushes to him. She brings him out, and badly injured John doesn't respond. Perm takes the car and, with a smile, drives away. At night, he reaches a motel, but he isn't at all successful in his plan. Edie is there. They had put a tracer inside the money, and John is alive as well. He raises up his hands and quietly sits on as his girlfriend rushes at Edie. And Perm gets to shoot John, but he ducks behind a car, being able to shoot one at Perm. His girlfriend's car stops just before Edie's because it has an AI system turned on. Edie points her gun at her, and she backs off. John comes out and finishes off Perm once and for all. The 2 get away with the car. It takes up to morning, and they are very happy with how they have managed to handle it. As they reach Nico's place, and Chaperone and his partner come to greet him, he shoots both of them. Edie is completely wrecked. He pulls her inside the car. He explains that it is their only shot. With all that money, they can start a family and disappear entirely. But Edie isn't in a position to buy all that, knowing very well that was another of his stupid decisions. He is frustrated as she doesn't respond and thinks he's going crazy because he messed up again. Edie slowly embraces him to calm him down, says it's okay, and shoots him. John dies instantly as she breaks down in heavy tears. At night, as Nico returns home with George, he finds Edie sitting there with a gun. He asks George to stay outside and approaches her. He sees the situation and tells her that she has done the right thing both for her and for John. She tells her that his partner, George, put Perm on the job, and it was their conspiracy all along. Nico feels dejected, and Edie moves to a whole different conversation. She says that he should have 2 bathrooms in the house, because when young, she lived in a house with 6 people, and there was only 1 bathroom. She had always dreamed of a life where there would be more than 1 bathroom, and she could sit in peace and quiet. She imagined this dream with John, where he might keep his bathroom messy, but she would keep hers clean. She adds that she will still follow that dream. Nico tells her that she can take 10% of what they got, but Edie has already taken away 20%. He impressively kisses her hand, and she leaves the room. As she gets going, Nico puts an end to George. Months later, Edie has her child now, and is celebrating Christmas at her friend's house, and remembers John. So, that was the recap for the 2025 movie Eenie Meanie. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel. And if you have liked this video, you may also like this.